Welcome back to the deep dive. Have you ever paused to think about what it truly takes to make a city not just smart, but, genuinely interconnected, efficient, and really responsive to its people?
It's a huge question.
Yeah, we're talking about a level of urban transformation that almost feels like science fiction, but it's actually happening right now.
That's an excellent way to put it. And today we're taking a really insightful deep dive into exactly that. We're looking at Chapter 7, Urban Governance, from the book Smart Cities, China's Model of Success by Eduardo Moreno L.
Right.
Moreno's work gives us such a detailed picture of how China is using technology to sort of redefine urban life.
Okay, so our mission for you today is to pull out the most, well, compelling and maybe surprising bits about how urban governance is being absolutely revolutionized. How technology isn't just bolted on, but it's like the core fabric of city management, making things more dynamic, more livable. So let's dive in. Moreno talks about coordinating these huge urban systems. What's the big difference from how cities used to be managed?
Well, what's really fascinating, and Moreno details this right away, is the establishment of centralized command centers.
Okay, command centers.
Yeah, think of them as the ultimate nerve centers for the city. They pull in data from everywhere, sensors, cameras, all sorts of inputs,
Right.
giving this holistic, real-time view of what's happening. And the key thing isn't just getting the data, it's about making immediate, really informed decisions. That's the shift.
So it's kind of like mission control, but for an entire city, not just different departments doing their own thing in silos.
Exactly.
Moreno specifically mentions things like the Internet of Things, IoT, and
Right.
big data analytics, letting these centers see it all at once. And he brings up geographic information systems, GIS.
Mm.
How does GIS actually help break down those silos? Because, saying everyone look at the same map sounds easy, but
Yeah, it's often not.
yeah.
You've hit on a crucial point there. Moreno emphasizes that GIS, by visualizing data spatially, lets departments like urban planning, transport, environmental monitoring,
Mhm.
lets them literally work from the same real-time information.
Okay.
But, and this is important, to make all that diverse data actually, talk to each other, he details the need for and the implementation of standardized data protocols and communication frameworks.
Ah, standardization.
Yeah, that promotes interoperability, reduces that fragmentation you often see.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crucial when you're integrating systems on this kind of scale.
And it's not just about the technology itself, is it? Moreno also discusses the role of leadership, like a really strong top-down approach to get everyone aligned.
Mhm.
He mentions regular interdepartmental meetings, training sessions, all tied to performance metrics and KPIs, those key performance indicators to keep everyone on track.
Accountability, yeah.
But here's where it gets really interesting for me. AI and machine learning are apparently woven in for predictive analytics. What does that actually mean for running a city when AI can predict, say, infrastructure failures before they happen or optimize traffic?
Well, it fundamentally shifts things from being purely reactive, fixing problems after they occur, to being proactive, even predictive.
Right.
Moreno argues this lets them intervene before things spiral, making the whole system way more efficient. And we also can't forget the role of public-private partnerships,
Right.
PPPs.
Right, PPPs.
Moreno really highlights how working with the private sector brings in cutting-edge tech and expertise that public departments might not have in-house. This leads to innovation in areas like waste management, energy efficiency, public safety.
So the partnerships kind of accelerate the innovation.
Exactly. They create this environment for co-creating solutions to really complex urban problems.
Okay, so with all that coordination humming along, what does this mean for how cities manage their actual resources, like water, energy, that sort of thing? Moreno seems to paint a picture of incredible efficiency.
Oh, it's truly transformative. Moreno details the really widespread use of IoT devices and sensors for real-time monitoring of resource use.
Like smart meters.
Precisely. Smart meters for electricity, water, gas. They provide such detailed, granular data. This allows for incredibly precise demand forecasting and better distribution.
Which means less waste.
Directly reduces waste, yeah.
Yeah.
And boosts reliability, too. You
Yeah.
know exactly what's needed, where, and when.
And it's not just about knowing how much is used, right? It's optimizing it with big data analytics and AI. Moreno mentions AI algorithms spotting trends, predicting consumption.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, AI-driven energy systems balancing supply and demand, even integrating renewables like solar and wind seamlessly. What's the real game changer there for sustainability?
The game changer is creating these highly resilient and adaptive energy grids. Moreno shows that by matching supply and demand so precisely, cities can maximize renewable use, cut carbon footprint significantly, and lower energy costs. It's huge.
Wow.
And the book gives specific examples too. In water resource management, sensor networks detect leaks and inefficiencies almost instantly. AI optimizes distribution. Even things like smart irrigation systems use weather and soil data to conserve water in parks and green spaces.
So it's about precision delivery.
Exactly. Getting the right amount to the right place at the right time. Minimizing waste across the board.
And what about everyday stuff, like trash collection, traffic? Moreno talks about smart bins with sensors optimizing waste routes.
Yeah, reducing fuel use, less truck traffic.
And intelligent transportation systems, or ITS, using real-time data to optimize traffic flow, changing signals dynamically. He even mentions smart streetlights adjusting brightness. When all this works together, what's the impact on, say, my commute or the city's budget?
Well, the cumulative effect is a city that just feels more responsive, less frustrating, less wasteful.
Okay.
For citizens, it could mean smoother commutes, cleaner streets, more reliable power and water. For the city itself, Moreno highlights significant cost savings, less fuel burned, optimized operations, infrastructure lasting longer.
Right.
It's this proactive approach, really driven by that strong government support and those PPPs we talked about, that makes efficiency a continuous reality, not just a target.
Okay, this leads us pretty naturally into public safety then. With all this integration in data, how does this approach make cities safer?
Moreno lays out a strategy with multiple layers. A big one, right at the forefront, is the widespread use of surveillance systems. Often these incorporate facial recognition technology.
Okay, that's obviously a significant element.
Yes, and these systems, boosted by AI algorithms, allow for real-time monitoring and identification. Moreno frames this as being central to crime prevention and efficient law enforcement. He argues it enables a level of predictive capability.
Predictive capability. So if big data helps spot patterns for predictive policing, how does that change how police operate? Is it less about reacting to calls and more about anticipating issues?
That's exactly the shift Moreno describes. He highlights how big data analytics processes vast amounts of information from social media, public transport records, emergency calls to identify patterns and predict potential security concerns.
Right.
This feeds into predictive policing models, using historical crime data to allocate resources more effectively. It's about trying to get ahead of incidents, not just responding after the fact. And the IoT-based solutions are also critical here. Smart sensors in public spaces on critical infrastructure, they constantly collect data.
Looking for anomalies.
Exactly. Potential hazards like unusual temperature spikes, gas leaks, things like that. They can trigger automated alerts, leading to immediate checks or responses, and giving first responders much better situational awareness.
And when something does go wrong, an emergency happens, how do these systems speed up the response? Moreno mentions AI-driven platforms analyzing emergency calls, social media, prioritizing dispatch.
Right, and even using drones for aerial surveillance in emergencies.
What's the real benefit of that automation when time is critical? And crucially, how do they protect all this vital infrastructure from, say, cyber attacks?
The advantage is speed and precision. AI platforms can shave off critical minutes, sometimes seconds, by instantly processing huge amounts of data and figuring out the best way to deploy resources.
Okay.
Drones give you that immediate eye-in-the-sky view, which can be invaluable during a fire, a major accident, you name it.
Yeah, I can see this.
And on protection, Moreno absolutely stresses the need for robust cybersecurity measures. Encryption, continuous network monitoring, intrusion detection. It's fundamental. You have to protect the data and the systems themselves to maintain trust and functionality.
Makes sense. It has to be secure.
Building on that, Moreno also spends quite a bit of time on crisis management. This is where these smart systems really get put through their paces,
Right, like the ultimate stress test.
Exactly. The focus is on prediction, managing the event itself, and mitigating the impact.
So again, it's not just reacting, but trying to see it coming. How does Moreno show this works in real crises?
Precisely. He points to advanced detection and monitoring tech environmental sensors, those surveillance cameras, again, providing continuous streams of data. AI algorithms then sift through that, looking for patterns that might signal an impending crisis.
Like what kind of patterns?
Could be adverse weather building up,
Right.
unusual crowd movements that might become dangerous, early signs of infrastructure strain. And then the response is coordinated through those integrated command and control centers we mentioned earlier.
The nerve centers again.
Yes. He gives examples like Shanghai and Shenzhen, which have these incredibly advanced centers with sophisticated data visualization tools. It helps get all the different agencies, police, fire, medical, utilities, literally on the same page, making coordinated decisions and allocating resources efficiently.
And the book mentions the COVID-19 pandemic as a sort of real-world test case,
It does.
highlighting how Chinese smart cities use digital tools like contact tracing apps and health code systems. These relied heavily on big data and mobile tech to control the spread. What does that specific example tell us about the scale and speed these cities can achieve in a major crisis?
It shows these systems are really designed for population-level management and incredibly rapid deployment. Moreno illustrates how those digital tools allowed for swift identification of potential exposures and helped implement containment strategies very quickly. It demonstrates a remarkable level of control and coordinated action during a massive public health emergency.
Yeah, the scale is hard to comprehend.
And it's not just health crises. Moreno also covers natural disasters, earthquakes, floods. Smart cities use early warning systems, things like seismic sensors, water level monitoring,
Right.
combined with designing resilient infrastructure to withstand impacts better. But importantly, he also stresses citizen and community engagement.
How does that fit in?
Through digital platforms that let residents report problems, get real-time updates, receive warnings during crises, it's about creating a collective, informed response, not just top-down
Okay.
control. And this is all backed up by regular training and simulation exercises to make sure everyone knows what to do.
Okay, so looking ahead, where does Moreno see this going? This journey seems far from over. What are the next big things for urban governance in these smart cities?
Well, Moreno outlines several key directions. One is definitely even deeper integration of artificial intelligence and machine learning.
More AI.
Yeah, enhancing that predictive capability even further, making decision-making more automated and optimized for everything from traffic to energy grids.
And the basic tech underneath it all will keep improving too, right? He talks about expanding IoT networks, the continued rollout of 5G technology.
Absolutely. Imagine the sheer volume and speed of real-time data that enables, supporting even more sophisticated applications.
But the thing that really caught my eye was digital twins, virtual copies of physical assets. What exactly are those and how do they, change the game?
Digital twins are essentially living, dynamic virtual models of city infrastructure, systems, maybe even entire districts.
Wow.
Moreno explains they let planners run simulations, test different scenarios, predict outcomes in this virtual space before they build anything or change policies in the real world.
So you can test interventions without real-world disruption.
Exactly. It's a potential game changer for optimizing building design, traffic management, emergency planning, all sorts of things. And alongside the tech, Moreno emphasizes that sustainability remains absolutely central.
Greener cities.
Yeah, future efforts will focus even more on renewables, green building standards, efficient resource management, looking at things like innovative energy storage too.
And it's not just about the tech, right? There's the
Yeah.
human side, the money. Moreno stresses public participation and inclusion, using digital platforms for engagement. Crucial. He also highlights innovative financing models, like those PPPs again, maybe international collaborations, and the need for education and workforce development, preparing people for jobs in data science, cybersecurity, new kinds of urban planning. How important are these softer aspects?
Oh, they're completely foundational, according to Moreno. He makes it clear technology alone isn't the answer.
Right.
Sustainable success really hinges on engaging citizens effectively, finding diverse ways to fund these complex projects, and critically, ensuring you have a workforce with the skills to manage and evolve these systems.
So it's a whole ecosystem.
It really is. The future he paints is about leveraging technology for genuinely sustainable practices and more inclusive governance, constantly innovating to meet the changing needs of the people living there.
Wow. What a deep dive that was into Chapter 7 of Eduardo Moreno's Smart Cities, China's Model of Success. It's really clear that urban governance in these cities isn't just, admin. It's this deeply integrated, data-driven, forward-looking strategy to build genuinely responsive and resilient places to live.
It truly showcases how strategic vision, when combined with technological capability and a real commitment to efficiency, can transform urban life on a scale that's, well, pretty unprecedented.
Right.
This model, as Moreno lays it out, certainly offers a lot of valuable lessons and points to consider as cities everywhere grapple with the future.
Definitely food for thought. So as you go about your day, maybe look around your own town or city, think about how the systems work or maybe don't work together. What possibilities could open up if your city adopted even a piece of this integrated, data-smart approach to governance? Keep digging, keep learning, and we'll catch you on the next Deep Dive.